presentation is locked. That's unhelpful. I don't want to be live this way. I'm live this way though. Never mind. Okay. Here we go. This is the first live that I feel like I've done for a little while on YouTube. Exciting times. Let's turn that down a little bit in the background. All right. Okay. So we are here today to talk about wheels. Yay. There are so many types of wheel. We're going from hard ones through mid-range to soft ones. And this is a question we are asked about a lot in the shop. So I think I wanted to take an opportunity and just chat a little bit more what the different types of wheels are, how you might choose them, and what might be suitable for you. I want you to think about 3 things when you're starting to think about your wheels. The first thing that most importantly you need to know is there is no magic wheel. Sorry, no wheels are magic, and that means that if you are a less experienced skater and you're thinking, gosh, I'm finding this quite challenging, what do I do? I'm going to get some new wheels. That's going to make my life easier. It might, but also it might not. Often you just need to go out and get skating and build your experience. So I would actually not recommend that you go off and purchase wheels straight away. You might just need to get out there and skate more. So if you have been skating, let's say less than 3 months, probably you just need to go and build your experience more, but it could be longer. However, if you have tried skating somewhere and you've heard people talking about hard wheels, soft wheels, actually, maybe it is time to try something different. So let's have a chat about these different sorts of wheels. So first thing you maybe need to know about is 2 things. Durometer, which is how hard the wheel is, and the wheel size. Okay. So durometer talks about how hard or soft the wheel is. That means how much rebound there is in the wheel. Okay. These wheels, radar energy wheels, very popular, are a soft wheel. The scale goes from 0 to 100. Others may differ, but commonly on the hardness rating, like 0 would be something like cotton wool that you cannot roller skate on, or thread. So it starts more firm. Around 78 is usually the softest wheel for roller skates. Okay, I'm just gonna have to pop you down here. Let's pop you here. Okay, so we've got these softer wheels, which are 78A, and something at the other end of the scale, like this one, is much firmer. If you are outdoors and you are skating around in a parking lot, or in the UK we say car park, I don't know where that came from, or maybe you are on a path in a park or something like that and you're outside, you're skating around, you will probably find a softer wheel more comfortable. Now, most roller skates that you buy straight out of a box, where you're not choosing the different component parts, actually they will be ready to roll, pun intended, anywhere you want to go. So you should be okay to take your roller skates and go out somewhere. But sometimes you might buy a skate that you think, well, I have tried outside and they just felt a bit uncomfortable. So the difference between these 2 types of wheel, although shape and size wise they look very similar, is how hard they are, how firm they are. With a hard wheel, there's no give, there's no rebound on this wheel at all. So if you go over a tiny stone or a twig or something like that, you're going to feel it on the wheel and it's probably going to trip you up. If you go over that on a soft wheel, it's going to squidge into the wheel a little bit and allow you to keep on rolling over the top of that piece of debris or whatever it is that is in your way, and you can keep going. So usually outside, this will give you a more comfortable experience than a hard wheel. I hope that makes sense. So the other thing you need to think about with your wheels when you're choosing roller skate wheels is how big you want this wheel to be, because let's pick a different wheel. The bigger the wheel, the faster you're going to go. The quicker you accelerate and you actually have a faster top speed. So can you see the difference between these two sizes of wheel? We have a very small one here and a much larger one here. So we've got these small wheels, you will accelerate more slowly. I mean, this is true of all wheels, all tires. You know, you can go faster in a car, right? Because it's got a much bigger wheel than a roller skate. So I think your top speed would be much higher. So we've got small wheels where you have got more control on the spot and you accelerate slower. Usually people with less experience are going to prefer a smaller wheel, but not always. If you're enjoying speed, or you want to go faster, or you want to go down a hill, or you have more experience, you might enjoy a larger wheel. And if you are trail skating and you are trying to skate some distance outdoors, then a larger wheel, you're going to push further for, yeah, like you're not going to have to work as hard. With a small wheel, you're going to push more in order to do the same amount of distance. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you're choosing skate wheels, you need to think about, where am I going to be going? What am I going to be doing? Not just, I need new wheels, they're going to make me a better skater, because not necessarily they're not going to make you a better skater. They're going to allow a different experience. So if you are mostly skating outside, then you will probably enjoy outdoor wheels more. These ones light up, which is pretty fun. These ones don't, but they do come in a bunch of colors. So roller skate wheels usually come in packs of 4, so that you can like mix and match, and you can have like either odd skates, or you can alternate the wheels to give like a mismatch effect, which is quite cute. It means you can personalize your setup, which is nice. Right. If you are not sure about what you're choosing, then I would always say, don't buy anything. Just go and skate some more. Keep building your experience. Go out more and spend time building your experience. Okay. This one, the purple one, is an in-between size of the previous two. So this one is a 62mm wheel, and this is going to fit most roller skates. But there are some skates that this size won't fit on. So if you are not sure, chat to your skate shop, send them a picture of your skates, or measure your current wheel and work out how big that wheel is, because if you buy one that is the same size, you know it's definitely going to fit. With the skates that we offer here at Roller Girl Gang, we know that these wheels are going to fit most of the skates we stock, but not all. Okay. So we've had a little chat about softer wheels and what they might be useful for. There's another misconception as well, that with softer wheels, you can't skate inside. And that is not true. Okay, you can definitely use outdoor wheels indoors. That's completely fine. You might find that they grip the floor quite a lot. Let's just go back to our little radar energy wheel. And you can maybe see on the profile here, this one is a wider wheel compared to this one. And that means that there is going to be more of a footprint that is catching hold of the floor. So two things. It will give you more friction. So when you're pushing, you will have more grip on the floor. And that can be quite a nice thing. It can feel like, especially if you're cornering, that you are really going to be solidly on the floor and pushing into the floor, and you will not slide at all. And some people really like to know that their path around the corner is super predictable. But you may prefer that you actually have a little bit more slide, because a softer wheel is going to slow down. It's going to grip the floor, so it's going to slow down sooner than a harder wheel, where indoors on a smooth floor you can just keep rolling for longer. Just be aware that is also going on. All right, I'm actually going to take you across to our wheel library, because in our studio we have a wheel library, and that means we can have a look at a bunch of different wheels. So there are different shapes to the wheels as well, just to be extra confusing. And oh, I'm really sorry, I've got an itchy nose. You can see with this wheel there's quite a clean edge to it, and the medallion wheels, these wheels with quite a clean edge, means that you can actually feel the edge of the wheel. I think there are some wheels that have got more of a curved edge. I'm just looking to see if we've got a set out now. Here we go. Like the Moxie Fun Day wheels, there's more of a curved edge to it. And with that type of wheel, you're going to get a little bit more flow. But staying on the edge is harder. So very generally speaking, having a bigger wheel means that you're likely to go faster, and having a smaller wheel means that you're going to go a little bit more slowly. There we go. Having a softer wheel means you have more grip. Having a harder wheel means you have more slip. Okay, so here we go. We are decorated for Halloween, but right here is our wheel library, and this is something that we've built for the community so that anyone can come into our studio and try wheels. One, so they know exactly what fits their skates, and two, so they know what they like and they don't have to spend hundreds of pounds in order to find what they like. So well, let's just take a little look at some of these wheels, shall we? All right, I'm going to start again with some of the, we've looked at softer ones, let's look at harder ones now. Okay, so somewhere in the mid-range, we have got something like this, which is a Radar Crush. Suitable for outdoors, but only on smoother places. And this wheel is very small, 48mm wheel, really tiny. It's a really cute little wheel. And then we've got these Sure Grip Velvet wheel. This one is much harder. Can you hear the difference? Yeah. It sounds like, you would sound like you're tap dancing, but anytime you are using harder wheels, you need to try and put your foot down as quietly as you can so you're not damaging your body. But these are a very similar shape. So this has got, it's about 33mm wide, I think, this wheel. Let's look at some more. 57mm. Then we've got a couple more. So these are in the mid-range. This one is really a harder wheel, but these are more mid-range wheels. So Moxie Funday wheel, you see the difference in the shape with those two. So this curved profile is just going to allow more flow, and it means if you're skating ramp, you can carve more easily. You're going to roll off the edge of the wheel, which is preferable in that situation. You want to be like flowing around the ramp, whereas this one, you're either on the very edge of it or you're on the flat surface of it. You're going to find it harder to flow on a transition. On the floor, obviously your skate flow and your rhythm and your dance is going to be very different. This is an artistic free wheel, which lots of people use for rhythmic roller skating. And this one is a complex Ghibli wheel. It used to be mint green and then it lost its color and we dyed them. It's still green, but the hub is also dyed now. When they come fresh out of the box, these ones are white in the middle and it's like a mint green outer. So some of the nicest wheels. I personally love this wheel. It's one of my favorites because, because it's a very slim wheel. So the hub that sticks out from the back still gives it a little bit of width. So this is a stable wheel because you have got those extra couple of millimeters, but you can see how slim it is. And the slimmer the wheel, the more agility you have. You can like maneuver more. It's easier to turn your foot when you're on two wheels. But just take that with a pinch of salt, but like a word of caution. Easier, not easy. You still have to spend much time building up the technique, building up the skill, building up the understanding, and then when you come to switch your wheels out, it gives you a different experience. It doesn't make things easier, it doesn't make things harder, it just gives you a different experience. Depending what you're doing, some things might feel easier, they might feel more straightforward, but it means that you're probably ready for that level of experience. Okay. Don't know if anyone has got any questions. You can totally type them in the chat. Question about how old I am. 45. That is in the wrong box. That means I found them. Okay, so I've got, this is a set of lighter wheels. They are the most fun. Light up wheels are available in a whole bunch of different colors and they come in different hardnesses from soft through hard. They also now come in different sizes, although they are more specific. They do not exist in this colorway though. This is one that we dyed, which is really great fun. Very straightforward to do and something that we're going to experiment with more. Like where have we put them? These ones are harder than these ones. So it just gives a more tappy sound. So these ones have a little bit more slide to them. And the slide, if you're not used to it, if you're used to a very grippy outdoor wheel, can be quite unnerving when you first go to a more slippery wheel. But again, it's just an opportunity to learn a different way to skate. All right, the wheels that are more interesting, I think, are when we are going to hard and super hard wheels. And these wheels are really quite specialist. So most people when they start out, oh my goodness, sorry everybody, I'm gonna switch this off. This is what happens when you're like a small channel, you're going live. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. Well, as you're working your way up, inexperienced, and you would usually start out with softer wheels that are appropriate for lots of spaces, or you might start with a mid-range wheel. This one is a rated 85 in the durometer scale. This is 84, but it's smaller, so it's not as versatile. So something like this, or a little bit smaller but not as tiny as that one, is kind of useful for most types of recreational roller skating. If you're exploring, if you're doing a little bit of outside, but you're not doing a massive distance, if you are doing a bit of inside, if you're just out for a social skate and a chat with your friends, something like a luminous light up wheel, really great fun, and it's quite reasonably priced, and it's like a good workhorse wheel. It will go kind of everywhere, but it's not a master of anywhere. It just is versatile, so it will allow you to go lots of places. Something like this one, which is a Shore Grip Velvet wheel, and this is hard. So this is a 99A wheel, and we could hear when I tap it that it's much harder. This wheel is way more specialist. You would be very uncomfortable outside for this, but if you have more experience, you'd probably enjoy this at the or somewhere smooth concrete, polished concrete, wood. This would be something that you might well enjoy. It's quite heavy. People are surprised by how heavy this one is. The Ghibli one is much lighter because it's got built-in holes. So this one is heavier. And again, it gives you that different experience. I personally like the weight of wheels because it gives you a feeling of being quite grounded. And this would be a rhythm skate wheel where you're staying more upright, or you're spinning on toes, or a heel toe spin even. But because you've got this flat profile this way as well, as opposed to this, it's easier to stay on this edge and spin on four wheels, either heel toe or toe toe, than this one. I find, it's not impossible, but for me, I find when I'm spinning on a fun day wheel, I will roll off the edge. I find it harder to remain on this edge, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's not impossible. It is just technique, and it is getting used to the wheel and practicing with that wheel. However, some people enjoy a lot of slide. So they then go beyond 100 on the durometer scale, and they go with something like a domino wheel, which is like 101 or even 103. Okay, so let's put that one there. There we go, domino wheel. This is also a tiny wheel, so you have got that control, but there is that slip. There's a little bit more slip than the velvet. Let's see. People are asking us a lot about the Von Merlin wheels as well at the moment. If you are unaware, at Roller Girl Gang, we do our best to source difficult to find things from around the world and stock them here. So it's like niche within a niche. Yes, we offer roller skates, but within that we offer specifically things for dancers that you might really struggle to get elsewhere, and the Von Merlin wheels are those. The issue with these is they're made in small batches and they sell out really quickly, so getting hold of them is really difficult. At the moment we don't have any dots in stock, but we do have a set of the Von Merlin cats, which are a 103 hardness. Yeah, they're available at the moment, but these ones we've still got a set in our wheel library so people can come and test them. And the dots are, again, smaller wheel, but not quite as small as the dominoes. Okay, but they're a little bit, it's very similar in hardness. By squeezing these, you really can't tell how they feel. We've not even talked about roller derby wheels yet. We'll get to those. Then we're going super hard, which are Fomac wheels. I'm just going to keep building my little wheel towers here. Okay, so we've got 4 million dots, and here, this is a clay wheel. No, that's a crush. So we also have some clay wheels in stock, and we used to stock fiberglass wheels and the Sure Grip Woodies wheels, and the ratio of slip to grip on these wheels goes beyond the scale of durometer. So these are made for sliding, and really these are also designed for experienced skaters. If you're working your way up to something like this, you've probably been skating quite a few years, and you've probably been practicing going sideways. It's a very unnerving feeling, and it's not something I personally enjoy, but every now and again I challenge myself and stick these on my skates just to see how I'm feeling that day. But the pushing is completely different in a wheel like this compared to a wheel like this. Completely different. The experience is totally different. I would recommend that you start with something like this one, the Vanathane style compound. Vanathane is an illegal substance now, but I will say Vanathane style on this wheel before building up either maybe a domino wheel or a Fomac. Even if you went something like the All American Dream wheel, something like that, it's a very difficult thing to spend money on all those wheels, because for all intents and purposes, the size and shape of them is very similar. They are all a 57 millimeter diameter wheel. They all have the same profile this way. They all have the same shape and the same type of edge, but due to what the compound is made from, allows you to explore very differently. But just be certain that these are all for indoor use. Indoor use. Please do not skate around your local outdoor park. You will not have a nice experience. So with these super hard wheels, it's worth putting in nicer quality bearings. Every wheel requires 2 bearings, front and back. Okay, and as your wheel becomes more specialized, as you are picking it for a more specialized purpose, hardness wise, so as we said, the luminous ones are a more general wheel. So put a cheaper bearing in your go everywhere wheel, but as you become more specialized, definitely it is worth putting in a more expensive bearing. And certainly with these Ghibli wheels, it's hard to put the bearings in. You need to, there's a technique. You need to gently warm it up, and then you can ease the bearing in. You need to compress them in both sides. Ideally, you want a bearing press just to push them in gently so that you are going to get that even pressure. Please never use the truck axle to pull bearings out. You may get away with it with a soft wheel, it might be okay, but it is really, really, really easy to rip through the grooves, the thread on the truck axle, and you won't realize until you go to screw the axle nut back on and suddenly you can't do it. And then instantly you can't skate because you have basically built this habit for yourself where you're used to whipping bearings out using the truck. And while it might work 90% of the time, 99% of the time, there is that 1% of the time where you ruin it for yourself, and then what? You've got to get a new truck from somewhere. And if you're out skating, skate time is gone. Or if it's the weekend or the evening, skate shops are shut, then you've got a problem. Or if it's a hard to replace part, that's not fun. So yes, we have got a rethreading tool, but it's a laborious process. It really is a pain. So please, please, please use the correct tools or go and ask your local skate shop to help you out. It's all fine. It's all fine. That's why we're here. Okay, so we've had a chat about durometer, and what that means, it's the hardness or softness scale. Softer number is smaller, harder wheels have a higher number. We've talked about the size of the wheels and how that is going to impact your speed and how you move. We talked a little bit about the width. We've had a little chat about the shape and how the different profile of the wheel will also affect the way that you can move. And all of these changes are really very small changes, but they feel very magnified because your head is far away from your feet. So I think that they do feel magnified. What I think is really important is that you think to yourself before even going and talking about wheels, is what do you want to achieve on roller skates? What is it that you want to do? Because without understanding what you want, it's really difficult to advise or even make a suggestion about which wheels to try in our wheel library. So really that is step number one. If you just want to have a nice time and skate around and be social, then you don't need to spend a lot of money on these. Like, very specific hard wheels are expensive. A full set of domino wheels is over £100 in the UK, and that's without the bearings. If you're putting good bearings in here, that's easily £150, £160 in these set of wheels. It could even be more if you're putting more expensive bearings in. Softer wheels, you are looking at maybe 80 to £90 for wheels plus bearings for a full set of 8. Please check how many a pack is when you're purchasing. Things like this, the Ghibli wheel come in sets of 8. The Sure Grip wheels come in sets of 8, so you only need 1 pack. But Luminous, Fun Day, Domino come in sets of 4, so you need to be buying 2 packs, okay? 2 bearings in each wheel, that means you are going to need 16 bearings. I've absolutely made the mistake where I've been to buy skateboard bearings and later realised that I bought 1 pack of skateboard bearings, and that is because skateboarders only need 4 wheels, so they only need 8 bearings. And there's me at home with 8 wheels and 8 bearings, and it's not enough bearings. We need 16 bearings. So most roller skate bearings will be sold in packs of 16, so you'll be fine with just 1 pack of 16. All right. Okay. We haven't really talked about all the different types of skating, but I think maybe we can explain that another time. There's a really common, try not to too often today, but there's a common misuse of or misunderstanding between jam and rhythm skating. Jam skating is really more like breakdancing. It happens on the floor, and people who jam skate have got big wheels. They're also wide. I'm just thinking, do I have a set here? No. We do have a set in the shop, but they're not here. They are most commonly Vanilla, VNLA, make those wheels. They're backspin wheels. I think there's a brand called Backspin as well, or maybe it's the model, but they're wide and they're also ridged, and they are for stability, so it allows that floor work where they're on the floor, they've got their hands on the floor, they can do those freezes, they can do those poses, they're going to spin on the floor, they're going to do flares, and they will usually wear a low cut skate similar to like a roller derby style skate, and it will also be covered, so the front of the laces is covered, so they're not going to get all scuffed on the floor. There'll be like a Velcro strap across the laces and across the toe, so people can get upside down and they have got full ankle mobility to allow them to get in all those positions. Rhythm skating is usually more upright. You can also do spins that take you down to the floor and back up again, but usually it's a high cut boot There will be rolling rhythm combinations where people are flowing around the rink if you are in a rink or in a big sports hall in the UK. And there are also more on the spot combinations or slower combinations, things like the downtown, the zero, more commonly understood on the spot style dances, or like a line dance. That's more rhythm roller skating. And then there's the skate dance, which is very choreographed style. And that style is very much up to the personal preference of the person who's doing the skating as to what they want to wear. So all of these styles recreationally is very much up to you, but jam skating, there are competitions for that. Rhythm, I don't know, I don't think so that I'm aware of. Maybe there is. Artistic skating, there are competitions in that. Roller derby is a competitive sport. Usually the wheels are hard, bigger, so that you can get that high speed indoors, and they're wide so that people can really grip the floor with the right technique, and they can make fast acceleration, fast deceleration, so that they're trying to speed up and slow down quickly so they can react to their different players, make the pack, break the pack, bridge, do whatever they need to do, and be really responsive. And their skates are usually lower cut and don't have a heel, so they've got a big power transfer through the plate and into the wheels. And outdoors, it gets very much up to the user what they want to wear. Oftentimes people will have a boot with a heel, but it doesn't really matter. It's whatever's comfortable for you. Skate park, again, it's very much up to the wearer. There are both styles. Styles like Bont have a hidden heel, usually like a bit of a wedge. It's kind of on the inside of the boot, so you can't see that there's any heel on the outside, but just having that little bit of lift onto the ball of the foot just helps the user be more on their toes, which is where they kind of need to be, and have that bouncy knees bent position. But you know, people also wear converted Vans shoes in skate parks, but they'll commonly also wear wheels that have got a curved edge, usually smaller, unless they are going for mega vert, like big vert, in which case they'll still have a curve, but they'll be larger wheels. And then that will help them maintain that speed and accelerate. But big wheels in a skate park, when you've also got a slope, man, they are quick. So not for the faint-hearted. For somebody who's very comfortable in that space already. And I feel that's like my entire wheel rundown for today. So I'm gonna end that video there and just put my wheels away. If you have got a question, feel free to drop it in and I will do my best to answer you. No doubt when I look back at the quality of this video, I'm going to end up remaking it. But we had a go today. We had a go. Right, Fomac ones, remember? Hard clay wheels. We do have some of these in stock. There are different styles of Fomac wheel. And again, we import these to the UK because nothing is less fun than a package arriving at your house with a customs charge. So we take care of that for you here so that you can just enjoy your wheels. It helps us out if people place their pre-orders in advance so that we know what we're going to order. And if you're not sure, you can always just drop us a message. Crush wheels are in the middle. That's my fun day. What else have I got here? It's my giggling wheel. I've got some luminous wheels and my domino wheel. Not domino, Von Merlin. All right, amazing. Thanks for being part of this video today. We're in the Skate Sanctuary studio. It's nice and quiet today, so I'm able to do this from here. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. If you've got any more wheel related or skate related questions, just drop us an email, shop@rollergirlgang.co.uk. See you later.